Well, in the clip, you said, we built the goddamn world you live in. The platform you're on is built by men. Nobody made this about men or women.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, I want to say this. I mean, when you look at, for example, construction workers, 90% of them are probably men. That's just an area that men historically have, moved into. Not to say that women can't do pretty much the same job these days with machinery and whatever else, but you're right. Men are mostly construction workers. When I look at society as a whole, like, for example, when I look at my business, the only executive in my company is a woman, a Black woman at that. Women have been extremely key into the building of Vlad TV over the years. When I worked in software companies, there were women executives, there were female, software engineers and so forth. And even though women may not be as hands-on in business as, it's not 50-50 necessarily, but I feel that women are extremely key to the building of society. And in fact, even the motivation for men to do what they do is usually for women. You take women out of the equation and men will not be as motivated.
Granted. But that's not the question. See, the question is not, are women important? It's relative contribution. See, it's like the whole wage gap. If you take the wage gap the way it's calculated, women's hours worked, men's hours worked, divide by the number, and it comes up with a number of, there's a wage gap. But what it doesn't account for is multivariate analysis. And when we have these conversations about gender, it tends to be univariate, one way. We don't take into consideration that women, just like women want higher representation at the upper levels of corporations, right? Okay, then I want you to have higher representation at the lower levels too. You need to be digging ditches. You need to be trashmen. They only want the representation at the higher end. But you don't want it at the lower end. And see, that's how we tend to do things. We look at it in the best case scenario. Yes, there are women who are valuable in corporations, this, that, but 6% of women in this country earn over $100,000. 6. And in your line, STEM, science, engineering, technology, and math, it is known that colleges and universities are struggling to get more women into these programs. So while, yes, after companies are built, can women come in, are women coming in and doing these things? Yes, but who's taking the risk building these organizations? And overwhelmingly, it's men. Overwhelmingly. Before a woman could step into the executive position, it took DJ Vlad to build it. And all I'm trying to get women to do is understand that the very guy 20 years ago that you probably wouldn't look at is the guy you need to be able to have a little bit more vision and say, well, if I get with him now and I stick with him now while I'm building with him now, I can reap all the benefits later. This is the problem. Most women say they want men who are high value, but they don't want to do the work when they're average looking. See, Bill and Melinda got together young, so she got the benefits later on. But if you want to not have to build a bob or build a boo, you want it later, then great. You're going to have to deal with a much more competitive situation. So either way, it still works.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Melinda Gates got with Bill when he was already like a billionaire. She was working at Microsoft as like a manager, but he was the CEO and founder of Microsoft when she met him. She didn't meet him in high school. I was
thinking about his girlfriend. So, granted, but the story still, the premise still sticks though. It's never about devaluing women's importance. See, what we've done so much is we overvalue it. We just had Mother's Day. Churches were full, restaurants are full. Father's Day is about to come up. Come on, man. You'll have women celebrating their second Father's Day. And that's the imbalance. See, we're so busy trying to pat women on the back. What about the guys, man? And that's what my show does. It's the first time when I'm walking out in the streets, men are like, thank you, thank you, thank you. On the way over here, I had to take 6 pictures. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Uber driver, cab driver, this guy, that guy. Because it's out of balance, Vlad. That's all I'm saying. It's massively out of balance. And instead of trying to make sure that all women are getting their credit, can we look at the amount of credit guys are getting? And is the average guy or even the above average guy, or are men getting anything? And you'll hear that, well, you've gotten it for your entire life. Now it's our turn. I disagree. That's what makes my show good, because I'm willing to have the conversation.